What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are going to check out my final set of battles for the Ultra League here in Season 7 on its first rotation, utilizing an incredibly strong team made by a fellow content creator, DanielZyniri. So shout out to him. This is his heavy damage team that he runs all the time. So there's going to be a link down to his YouTube channel down in the description. Be sure to go check him out. But guys, this team is incredibly strong. I ended up going 47-18 with this team this week. And if you guys were in my patron Discord, shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. You guys knew I was using this heavy damage team, and it's incredibly strong. I also got to rank 20 there with a 69% win rate, going 181 wins and 79 losses there, which is really strong. So let me know down in the comments what rating you guys think I got. It definitely is going to be showcased here in the video. But today's team is going to be Berserker, and it's actually my first XL Pokemon, everyone. Hallelujah, I finally have one, and it's not even powered up too much. It's only level 45.5. As you guys can see, the IVs over there, 11, 13, 14. It was the best hatched one that I had that I could power up multiple times, and it's not even done. I think I can power it up one more time to get to level 46. But basically, I just transferred all of my Meowth candy that I had over the years. I had a couple thousand on top of hatching some Berserkers as well to get Galarian Meowths as well to get the XL candy from those hatches, and was able to power it up. So you guys are going to see how strong this team is. We also have Gengar there with Shadow Punch, which is Legacy, and Armored Mewtwo, which is an absolute tank, a monster, and I was really impressed with its performance with the Legacy move of Psy Strike. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this team and these battles. Again, if you guys want to join the patron community, it's only $1 a month to support the channel. You guys don't have to by any means, but if you guys want to know about these teams that I run before YouTube, that's how you guys can do it. So let's go ahead and get right into today's video. Alright, buckle up. This is going to be a lot of awesome battles. So we have Berserker on the lead versus Surfetch. So fighter leads are pretty tough to deal with. What you want to do is swap right away into the Armored Mewtwo, start getting ahead on energy. Now the opponent decides to bring in a Scissor right here, which is perfectly fine. We can go for that Dynamic Punch for neutral damage and do a lot, and what we're looking to do is get shield advantage back. We're not going to be shielding here on the Armored Mewtwo because it's so bulky, and we want to give ourselves shield advantage because close combat's there from Berserker will do a lot of damage to that Surfetch. So we do throw the Dynamic Punch. We do get a shield, which is perfect, and we're going to go ahead and let this one go. The Night Slash I don't think is going to be enough to KO, and I'm hoping I can get a Psy Strike in time. So Night Slash barely doesn't take us out, and I get the Psy Strike right here, which is going to do a decent amount of chip damage and allow us to farm down with the Berserker. So we do land, and that's perfect. We are now in a perfect position. This is what you guys want to have when you face off against a fighter lead. You want to be able to come back in with that Berserker and hard farm down, also not give up any shields. We're looking to sweep endgame with Gengar. So we're going to go ahead and let that Night Slash go through. Commit to that farm down. We'll probably see the Surfetch'd now come in. So we're going to go ahead and throw that close combat right away once we see that it is the Surfetch'd. So we're staring in the top right, and it is going to be the Surfetch. So we throw this close combat. If this lands, it does a lot of damage. If it doesn't, we get a shield. We swap straight into the Gengar. So we're going to go ahead and swap now into Gengar Stick, getting ahead on energy. And we know this is probably going to be a Night Slash. This is likely what they're going to be throwing right here, which will do super effective damage. So we're going to go ahead and shield. And the final Pokemon is going to be a Lapras, which we can control and win this battle. So we're going to go ahead and throw Shadow Ball right here. It does a lot of neutral damage here against the Lapras, and we're looking pretty good to win this game. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and shield this Surf right here, and then look to overload on energy. That way we can get off a Shadow Punch versus the Surfetch in the back. While we're counting the Lapras's charge moves, it just got to 4 Ice Shards, which is going to be a Surf. So now we throw the Shadow Punch right here to take out the Lapras. The Surfetch is going to have to come back in, and we're going to go ahead and throw the Shadow Punch. Now, this is not going to be enough damage to take it out, but what we need to do now is swap into Berserker to force them to have to use their energy. Because of swapping in the Berserker, they can't farm us down, which means we can go for the Foul Play. I could have gone for close combat right there, but Foul Play is going to do enough resisted damage, but they couldn't farm us down in time because of our residual energy, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Okay, moving into this next one. We're also going to see what you guys can do against Obstagoon as well. Do not worry. So we have Berserker versus Melmetal. All right, 5 Thunder Shocks to a Superpower, 9 Thunder Shocks to 2 Superpowers because of how the energy gain works. So what we're going to do is count to 9, throw close combat right here, or count to 8. Throw close combat, and then we're going to swap into armored Mewtwo. We get a shield, we swap into the armored Mewtwo, and catch the superpower right here, or potential rock slide. Either way, we got a shield and we wasted their energy. That's what you guys want to do in that Melmetal matchup. Now we're going to see the Giratina Altered come in right here, and this is actually going to be a Dragon Breath Giratina Altered, which is definitely better, and I'm struggling to get the Side Strike off right here, but we do land it for a lot of damage, and this is what's great. You also want to soft lose this matchup as well, because again, same with fighter leads, when you face off against Melmetal, you want to have energy advantage and be able to throw those charge moves. So we're going to go ahead and go down. I'm not going to throw the Side Strike right there. I want to come in with Berserker and hard farm down. Especially since this Giratina Altered is Dragon Breath. If it was Shadow Claw variant, it would be a bit tougher, but I would still not give up any shields here with Berserker, even though Shadow Sneaks are doing neutral damage. I would just commit to the hard farm because I want to have double close combat for that Melmetal that'll likely be coming back in. Now you want to be sure that it is going to be the Melmetal coming back in, and they might be quick to bring it in to throw off the superpower right away, like they did right here. They just swapped straight out. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the double close combat. This first one should get the shield, which it does. We're going to go ahead and throw the second one, but we CMP tied because now remember they have a superpower because they built up to 9, but it's going to be another rock slide shield bait, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw close combat. They are out of energy, and I can swap into Gengar, farm down, and look to close this game out. So I'm going to go ahead and swap into Gengar, farm down. We know they have Giratina Altered with no health, but they also have a Swampert. Now, their switch clock is not up because they swapped out right before the Giratina Altered went down, so I'm safe to throw the Shadow Ball right away. I'm going to go ahead and shield the Hydro Cannon, look to throw Shadow Ball right away because I do not want them to have their switch clock come back up, right, and soak the Shadow Ball on the Giratina Altered. So we land the Shadow Ball, perfect, and we are going to go ahead and just farm down, and that is going to be a good battle, very well played. Berserker on the lead versus Swampert. What I like to do with this one right here is we're going to be counting up to 8 mud shots. If they throw at 5, it's just going to be Hydro Cannon. We don't need to shield. We're going to go ahead and count up to 8. We're going to throw this close combat right here for neutral damage, and then look to swap to the Armored Mewtwo to soak the charge move. So there's 8 right there, and we swap. Now, we throw that close combat to either get a shield or do neutral damage, and we want to soak a lot of the hard-hitting charge moves, especially like Superpower and Earthquake that would otherwise basically one-shot or near one-shot Berserker on Armored Mewtwo. Now, again, here against the Registeel, we don't need to shield the Flash Cannon. It's not going to be enough to KO. It doesn't do too much damage, but what we're hoping to do is get to Dynamic Punch. It's very crucial to have Dynamic Punch here on Armored Mewtwo because you need it against the Umbreons, the Obstagoons, the Registeels, the Melmetals. You guys will see all of that today. So what we're going to do is build up to the next Dynamic Punch and be able to throw this. This is either going to get that final shield or get this Registeel extremely low. Now we also need to consider this Registeel just farmed us down, so it will have a Focus Blast, and we know Swampert has no energy because it just dumped the Earthquake into the Armored Mewtwo. So we're going to come back in with the Berserker, and we will give up a shield right here. Can't get caught by being hit with a Focus Blast, so we'll go ahead and shield that Focus Blast, commit to that farm down, and we'll have to see what is going to be in the back. The Swampert decides to come back in, so we're going to go ahead and build up to 2 close combats right here. We're going to go ahead and throw this first one. This should be getting the shield from the Swampert, or we're basically going to take it out. Let's see what happens. We get the shield. We're going to go ahead and throw the second one, and because we're so far ahead on energy, they don't have an Earthquake just yet. But what I will do is go ahead and now swap into Gengar, because it'll force them to have to throw the Hydro Cannon, but they didn't. They decided to bring in Cresselia right here, which is perfectly fine. I can go straight for Shadow Ball, and we know that Gengar has a higher attack than Swampert, which means I'll win CMP tie, which is perfect because I can safely just farm down this Cresselia, give up a shield right here. Actually, I don't shield right here on this one. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let it go. Moonblast is going to be resisted. Same with Grass Knot. You have to watch out for Future Sight, but Berserker could beat the Swampert anyways. So we're going to go ahead and win and go for this Shadow Punch right here, and that'll be a good battle. I could have shielded that right there, but it wasn't enough for Future Sight, so that will be a good game. Very well played. Alright, here we go, Obstagoons. Your only hope on Obstagoon leads is one of 2 things. Firstly, they don't sneak a fast attack through. That is very crucial. We shield this first charge move. We're thinking it's going to be Cross Chop, and what we need to do is build up to 2 close combats. If they sneak a fast move through, it's game over. So what we do is build up, but they swap. That's the other potential win condition, is if they swap out, which is perfect. We throw the close combat. We're going to go ahead and bring in Armored Mewtwo right here and just farm down with Confusion. We have to watch out for Mega Horn. What I want to do is not give up any shields. We can survive a Mega Horn, everyone. With this much health here on an Armored Mewtwo, you can survive, and it's just going to be an Acid Spray, which is perfect, which means we can commit to the farm down, and now we'll have 2 Dynamic Punches ready for that Obstagoon. So I'm actually going to go ahead and shield right here. I wasn't sure if it's going to have a Mega Horn just yet, but it's actually just going to be a drill run. I could have not shielded that right there, but either way, that's fine. I know Obstagoon is going to come in and throw the Night Slash. Now, Obstagoon still has 2 shields, but we have 2 Dynamic Punches and a Close Combat. This is why you need Dynamic Punch and Close Combat on the Berserker and the Armored Mewtwo. So this first Dynamic Punch should be getting a shield. Remember, it does double super effective damage. We're going to go ahead and throw the second. Now, I should have played this a bit different. If they shield this one, I should have swapped right away. So they did. I should be swapping and throwing Close Combat, but I didn't. I let them try to farm me down because I wanted them to throw their energy. Now, you need to be careful when you come into this situation with an unshielded Obstagoon and switch clock back up because they may swap, but I decided to throw it right away. So I got kind of lucky they didn't swap out right there. This Close Combat will boom. Here we go. Boom! One shots to the Obstagoon, and the final Pokemon is going to be a Melmetal, which is perfectly fine. We can just go for this Shadow Ball, and that will be a good battle. Very well played. Now, I will say of the 18 losses I had with this team, Obstagoon contributed probably to like 12 of those. If I ran into Obstagoon, it was basically almost a good game if it was on the lead or hidden in the back due to its power against this team. But again, if they make a mistake like they did right there, you guys can capitalize on it. Or this second game, which we'll see right here, I put them back to back so you guys can see. This is where fast attack sneaking through is very critical. So we have Obstagoon again on the lead. What I like to do with this is build up to double close combats, shield that first charge move because it's likely just going to be the cross chop that they throw. Go ahead and shield that. And then we want to throw double close combat, right? Because we want to get the shields out of the way, and then we'll bring in the Armored Mewtwo. So we're going to go ahead and build up right here and go for double close combat. We let this second one go through. If your Berserker has some good IVs, you can survive, which we do. And then we go for the double close combat. They just snuck a fast move through right there. That is critical because we go down now. So that counter takes us out, even though I had double close combat, which basically seals the fate for this game right here. It's not over. They may let the Dynamic Punch go through, so we'll have to see how we can play this out. Basically, what I'm hoping for is to be able to get to 2 Dynamic Punches before the Obstagoon basically can take out the Armored Mewtwo right here. Now, good players will recognize that I don't have a hard counter here for Obstagoon, so they'll probably shield and then actually swap out. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Dynamic Punch. We get the shield, and this is why Obstagoons on the lead are so tough to deal with if your Berserker goes down, because they're going to go ahead and throw a Night Slash. I'm going to go ahead and not shield again, banking on sweeping endgame with Gengar. The Night Slash comes through, and then they got a boost, and they have a second one, so I will have to shield right here. Now, hopefully, I can get this Dynamic Punch off. Nope, they swap into Cresselia, which is unfortunate. So now we have to bring in this Gengar right here. And if this Cresselia has Future Sight, it is game over. Please just be a Moonblast or a Grass Knot right here. But that was definitely enough fast moves, and it is going to be a Future Sight. Boom! My Gengar goes down, and that is going to be a good game. So I will say Obstagoon is very tough to deal with. If you guys can deny those fast moves and get the double close combat off, it's huge. You could also try swapping into Armored Mewtwo, and if they decide to stay in, that's great. But really, you need to get shields away and take it out with either Dynamic Punch or close combats. Alright, moving to this next battle, we have Berserker on the lead versus Machamp. Another fighter, hard lead loss. We swap right away into the Armored Mewtwo, start getting ahead on energy. Now they bring in a Shadow Snorlax. This is really good because Gengar in the back does not like Shadow Snorlax, especially since we're running all Ghost type moves, because it helps out much better against Cresselia and Giratina Altered. So what we're going to do in this matchup is just go straight for Dynamic Punches. I either want to win this matchup, and I'm not going to shield as well, or I just want to soft lose and have that 2-to-1 shield advantage and be able to farm down with the Berserker. So we're going to go ahead and throw this next Dynamic Punch right here. But they get to the charge move. Now, I'm reading that I can survive with very little health, so I'm not going to shield. The Body Slam comes through. We survive with literally 1 HP. And that just comes from using Armored Mewtwo so much that I knew I could survive that, or prayed I could survive that, and this is perfect. Shadow Snorlax is so low right now that I can actually come in and farm down with the Berserker with Shadow Claw. If they do get to a charge move, I will shield, but they don't. perfect. We're going to see that Shadow Machamp now come in, or the normal Machamp, Shiny Machamp, actually. We're going to go ahead and throw the Close Combat right here to get that shield, or do massive neutral damage. We do the massive neutral damage, we swap straight into Gengar, and they swap straight into Registeel. This is basically a good game right here. So yeah, these fighter leads you guys can handle. It's very tough sometimes, and you got to know how much damage some of these moves are going to be doing, especially to Armor Mewtwo. If it's new to you, it's going to take a while to kind of experience that. As you guys can see over on the side, my IVs aren't the best. And also, this is my first XL Pokemon as well. I forgot to say that, but I transferred all of my Meowth candies that I've had over the years of playing and just put them all into this Berserker and powered it up. It's still not fully powered up. I think it's 2485, 24, something like that. I think I have 1 or 2 more power-ups, but hey, it's getting there. So we go ahead and just, our win condition now is with Berserker. I imagine they're going to swap into the Machamp at some point, which they do. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Close Combat right here. Registeel, the only way it can take us out is with its charge moves, and we have 2 shields, which is perfectly fine. So we can just go ahead and shield this charge move right here and then throw the Close Combat, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played to my opponent. This team really does well with energy and shield advantage. You can sweep with Berserker, you can sweep with Gengar. Armored Mewtwo is utilized as like a soak, like a body bag to soak all of the damage that you can. Okay, moving into this next battle. These aren't all in order, by the way. This is just from the week, but we have Berserker versus Poliwrath, another fighter on the lead. Now, what you guys want to do is you don't necessarily have to swap out right away. What you want to do is swap out on the Dynamic Punch, which is going to be right here. I believe it's 6 mud shots there to the Dynamic Punch. So we're going to go ahead and soak it there on the Armor Mewtwo. That's perfect. That's how you'd handle with the fighters. If it's fast moves like Counter from Surfetched or Machamp, you swap out right away. If it's charge moves, like from Poliwrath here, you swap out on the charge move. Now we're going to go ahead and go for that Dynamic Punch again to do that neutral damage. Get this Scizor low so that we can come in and farm. Let's see what happens. No shield, which is perfect. We should be able to do a lot of damage right there with the Confusion Dynamic Punch. We got it extremely low, which is perfect. And remember, we still have a lot of energy there on Berserker. I think we're almost at a close combat. So we can safely come in, farm down, and look to have basically 2 close combats ready for that Poliwrath. So we're going to go ahead and just commit to that farm down. Again, don't give up any shields like here against Scizor if you guys do face it. It's going to have Iron Head, X Scizor, or Night Slash, all of which do not threaten a Berserker at all with a lot of health, as you guys can see. And we basically have 2 close combats ready to go. Also, remember, Poliwrath dumped all of its energy as well. So we're going to go ahead and throw this first close combat. We'll probably be getting a shield from the first one. No shield right there, which is dangerous for them. We're going to go ahead and throw the second, which should get the shield, and then we're going to go ahead and swap it into Gengar. I really wanted to get damage in 1 shield because Gengar with 2-to-1 shield advantage, as long as they don't have like an Umbreon, Obstagoon, or Snorlax in the back, we're looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and shield right here. It's going to be an Ice Punch, and they're deciding to stay in, which tells me Gengar destroys whatever's in the back. So we're going to go ahead and just throw the Shadow Punch right here, force that final shield from them, which they do decide to shield. All right, Gengar's looking very, very strong to close endgame, so we're going to go ahead and shield the next Ice Punch and farm down, and we'll have to see what is going to be in the back. I imagine it's going to be a Giratina or something like that, maybe Cresselia. And it is going to be a Giratina Altered. You guys ever seen a Shadow Ball from a Gengar land against a Giratina Altered? Here we go. You guys love it. Here we go. Boom! That's like 80-90% of its health, and we farm down, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. We still have Berserker as well in the back for us. Dragon Claw is going to be enough to take us out, but Berserker can come in and finish off, and that will be a good game. This team's incredibly strong, very tough to deal with. All right. Berserker versus Togekiss. Okay, so Togekiss leads or Charmers. I don't like staying in the whole fight for a couple reasons. First of all, we're doing resisted damage with Foul Play and Close Combat, but what I like doing, as well as I don't want to have to shield a Flamethrower. So what we're going to do here is throw that first Foul Play, chunk the health here of Togekiss, and then we're going to go ahead and swap into the Armored Mewtwo, start getting ahead on energy. And if they decide to throw their energy into Armored Mewtwo, thank goodness. This is perfectly fine. It's going to be a Flamethrower. Completely fine with that. Now we're going to see a Swampert come in right here, which is perfect. We can go for Psy Strike. This does a lot of neutral damage, and we'll likely be getting a shield from our opponent. We'll have to see what happens. We do get the shield, which is fine. They're going to go ahead and throw their Hydro Cannon right here. You don't need to shield this first one. It's not going to do enough damage if you have this much health. which means they're going to have to throw their second one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually opt to shield. I believe I want to get this Swampert lower. Yeah, so I do decide to shield, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw the Psystrike right here. This is either going to get the final shield, which is perfect, or this is going to basically near take out the Swampert. So we do get the final shield. I swap back into Berserker, and then throw the close combat right here. This is definitely going to be taking out Swampert. We still have Gengar, which we know can do really well against Togekiss, and we'll have to see what their final Pokemon is going to be. It's going to be a Shadow Machamp, so we do have another close combat ready to go because of that energy gain here from Shadow Claw, and this is just going to do so much damage. Boom! That's a lot of damage. Now, we can come in with Armor Mewtwo and do one Confusion, but I'm actually going to come in with the Gengar right here. And just commit to the farm down and safely shield. Remember, Togekiss threw the Flamethrower against the Armor Mewtwo, which means it's energy dry, and all we need to do is, I think we just need to get to a Shadow Punch based on the health, but I decide to go for Shadow Ball, because why not? Throw the ball when you can. Yeah, Shadow Punch would definitely be enough from this range, but we're just going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. So, let's go ahead and move into the next battle right here. Like I said, if this team does not face off against an Obstagoon, it is incredibly strong, but Obstagoon teams you can still play around with. So we have Berserker versus Clefable on the lead right here. Again, another fairy. We don't want to stay in too long because we want to maintain some health here on Berserker and charge moves because they may have stuff in the back that we need those close combats for. We're going to go ahead and just throw that foul play right here and then look to bail out into the Armor Mewtwo and draw out what is likely going to be the hardest counter to potentially Gengar. So we're going to go ahead and swap out on charge move. Soak it here on the Armor Mewtwo. Even though Meteor Mash would be resisted on the Berserker, it's still too much chip damage that we want to take. Here comes an Obstagoon, which Obstagoons coming into Armored Mewtwo is much more favorable when you saved Berserker on lead with energy than facing Obstagoon on lead. We can handle this. So what we're going to do is just overload on energy and go ahead and go for Dynamic Punch. They have to start shielding. Remember, Dynamic Punch does double super effective damage to them. We get the first shield, which is perfect, and we're going to have to see if we can get to another one in time. They're overloading on energy, and I CMP tie right here. I'm going to shield because I CMP tied, which means I will be able to get this Dynamic Punch off and get that final shield here from the Obstagoon. So, Dynamic Punch coming through. Please get that final shield. We do get the final shield. Swap straight into the Berserker and go for close combat. This is why energy management with this team is so incredible, because you can do this. Boom! Takes out the Obstagoon. The Clefable is going to be coming back in. Now, I am concerned that there is an XL Umbreon in the back. I'm very concerned. I'm thinking in my head, this is Fairy Double Dark team, which would just be disgusting. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring in the Gengar right here, start getting ahead on energy. So let's see what's going to be in the back. Nope, it's going to be a Giratina Altered. Thank goodness. We're going to Shadow Ball this thing. So many booms in today's video. We're going to go ahead and shield the charge move. It's just going to be a Dragon Claw, but still, we can safely shield. Go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball right here, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Here comes the Shadow Ball against Giratina Altered. Boom! Takes it out, and we're going to go ahead and swap into the Armor Mewtwo and take out the Clefable as well, and that will be a good battle. Very well played. Moving into this next battle, we have Berserker versus Talonflame. This is tough. We have to swap right away into Armor Mewtwo. Talonflame is very, very, very tough to deal with, and it always, always, always has a Cresselia in the back with it, which makes sense, right? If Talonflame's biggest weaknesses are going to be maybe Giratina, maybe Swampert, stuff like that, Cresselia does really nice with Grass Knot and Moonblast, which makes sense for it to be in the back or maybe on safe swap. So we're going to go ahead and just go for Psy Strikes right here. Now, what's interesting against this Cresselia versus Armored Mewtwo matchup is you can actually save Armored Mewtwo. What you want to do is overload your energy on Armored Mewtwo, and we're going to swap back out into Berserker at some point here. Switch Clock is coming back up. Our attack dropped as well, so we're just going to go ahead and load up, and then I'm going to look to swap, but the Switch Clock doesn't come back up in time. So I'm actually going to shield right here. We shield the Grass Knot, we swap to Berserker, start getting ahead on energy, and that Talonflame is going to come back in. We have two Psy Strikes ready to go for it, and we can go ahead and throw this Foul Play right here to do a lot of chip damage for neutral against the Talonflame or get a shield. We get a shield, which is fine. Now this Talonflame is going to go ahead and throw its energy. This is going to be Flame Charge. There's no reason to shield right here. Otherwise, they would farm us down. So the Flame Charge takes us out. That's okay. Boom. And then we're going to bring in that Armored Mewtwo and look to go for double Psy Strike right here. So we're going to go ahead and bring it in. We save Psy Strikes. This is going to do a lot of neutral damage to Talonflame, and we're hoping to get that final shield because, again, what we're hoping to do is sweep with Gengar. So we get the double Psy Strike off, and then we're going to be having to swap into Gengar right here. Switch Clock is not back up yet, and they decide to throw the energy, which is fine. We are banking all of our hope and prayers into our Gengar right here to sweep endgame. So we're going to go ahead and bring in that Gengar. These Incinerates hurt like no other, but we are able to farm down before that next one came through. So we do see the Cresselia come in. We're going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball right here. I should have farmed a bit more energy in hindsight looking at this battle. Shadow Ball takes out the Cresselia, and the final Pokemon is going to be a Bombasnow. So we're going to go ahead and go for Shadow Ball right here. Obviously, Sludge Bomb would do better for super effective damage, but Shadow Ball is still a lot. And this is why I said I wish I would have farmed a bit more energy. That was kind of silly on me not to do that. Because this is an XL Abomasnow and it is so dang tanky, I'm actually not going to be able to finish it off in time. And it does get to the Weather Ball and take me out right there. So I should have farmed more energy there on Cresselia. But hey, we had a great win condition right there for us if I played it a bit better. Moving into this next battle, we have Berserker on the lead versus Lapras. This is actually a pretty good lead for us, and you guys don't want to throw close combat right away. Remember, with close combat, it drastically lowers your defenses, and even though Lapras is doing resisted damage here with Ice Shard, these Surfs really start to add up, especially if your defenses are dropped. So what we're going to go for is the double close combat. You got to be careful that they may swap as well, knowing that you're going to try to go for double. So we're going to go ahead and throw this first one. We don't get a shield, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Foul Play now. No reason to throw the Close Combat. Both of them are the same energy, but Foul Play doesn't give me the debuff. And we actually take out the Lapras. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and stay in here and just go for a Foul Play here against Giratina Altered. This is going to do a lot of super effective damage and likely be getting a shield. Now, things are still not over. We're going to go ahead and swap into the Armored Mewtwo. And you may be asking, why go into Armored Mewtwo? Well, we want to save Gengar and save our shields for it to sweep endgame. We're thinking maybe there's Cresselia in the back or something like that. Plus, Psy Strike and Confusion really starts to add up, and we don't necessarily have the shield here on Armored Mewtwo because, look at this, we're chonking this thing. The Armored Mewtwo is an absolute monster. We already took it down to like 20% of its health with just Confusion and one Psy Strike. So another Shadow Sneak comes through, that's fine. Hopefully we can get to another Psy Strike in time. No, we cannot, but they dumped all of their energy, which is also good. Now, I have to take into account how much health I have left here on Berserker. I wanted to say Ferrothorn. No, it's definitely not. So I'm going to go ahead and come in, try to see if I can commit to the farm down. No, I cannot. They had energy. We're going to go ahead and let it go, right? Rely on this Gengar to sweep endgame for us. Hopefully, there's something in the back that we can beat, and it's going to be a Togekiss, which we can totally beat. That is perfect right here. All we need to do is go for 2 Shadow Balls. Charm just does really not too much damage to us, so we're just going to go ahead and throw this Shadow Ball. They have to shield, otherwise this one-shots them, and if we get the one-shot, I'm booming. We one-shot. Boom! Takes out the Togekiss, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Lead wins are very dominant right here if you have a good team. So we have Charizard now on the lead. What you guys need to be prepared for is if it's Fire Spin or Dragon Breath. Fire Spin, you get out. Dragon Breath, you stay in. Go for a Foul Play and then try to swap into Armored Mewtwo to soak the charge move because you don't want to get hit with a Blast Burn. You also don't want to give up a shield this early. Plus, we're chonking here with these Confusions. So they're going to go ahead and go for a charge move. I'm guessing it's going to be Blast Burn. We can tank it. Armored Mewtwo's an absolute boss. That just only does like 50% of our health. We see a Giratina Altered now come in. This is a Shadow Claw Giratina Altered as well. Psy Strike and Confusion are still going to be able to get this thing low, but remember, our Berserker has a lot of health left. A lot of health. And they're actually going to commit to the farm down right here, which is smart on them because these Shadow Sneaks are really going to start adding up. So hopefully this Giratina Altered is the only like matchup they can win with when it comes to Gengar. So we're going to look to trust in that and sweep endgame. And they also just threw a Dragon Claw, which means this shiny Giratina Altered does not have double moves, which is unfortunate. Because if they had Shadow Sneaks, this would definitely work out a lot better for them than it currently is right now. Because I don't need to shield. In hindsight, if it was Shadow Sneaks, I might shield. Actually, no, I don't need to. I can actually overfarm right here. But I would have basically potentially shielded the third Shadow Sneak, but we're going to go ahead and throw this foul play right here. Takes out the Giratina. We're going to go ahead and swap straight into Gengar, start getting ahead on energy, and it's going to be a Cresselia in the back. Now, what we want to do is not go for Shadow Balls because we don't want that energy to be soaked into a shield, so we're just going to go for Shadow Punches. If they land like that, it's still okay because we can safely shield, and Shadow Claw, Shadow Punches really start to add up. Plus, the Charizard there does not have a lot of energy considering it just threw a Blast Burn, and it didn't stay in too long there against Gengar, which means I think it's barely halfway to a Dragon Claw. So we're just going to go ahead and keep throwing these Shadow Punches. We are getting the shields now, which is fine. And again, you just want to keep throwing Shadow Punches in this situation of 2 shields to 2 shields versus Cresselia because it just does so much damage. Now, they got off a charge move, and I actually think my win conditions with Berserker, so I'm going to go ahead and let this go. Grass Knot is not going to be enough to take us out. I swap into the Berserker, and I'm going to try to commit to the farm down. No, we don't get it, but that's okay. Charizard does not have 2 charge moves. We can safely shield right here, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent right there. Charizards with Dragon Breath are manageable. Fire Spins, oh, there was still Cresselia. Fire Spins, you want to swap out right away. Moving in this next battle, we have Berserker versus Giratina Altered. Alright, you'll love to see it. These kind of leads are great. This is why this team is so strong, is because of Giratina Altered and Cresselia. So, Berserker, right? Did I just say Cresselia versus Giratina Altered? I'm telling you, if you guys... Oh, man. So many battles Shoutcast in a row. Really starts to mess with me. Okay. So we have, they shielded right there, which is fine. Shadow Sneaks, we don't need to shield. What we're looking to do is just chunk this Giratina Altered down. Again, hoping that this is basically their only counter or potential threat to a Gengar so we can sweep endgame. That's what's important here. So we throw another foul play, that's fine. Gets them low. We're going to go ahead and let, I think I let this one go through. And I actually think I'm going to swap into Armored Mewtwo right here. Start getting ahead on energy because I can save Berserker as a sack swap. They bring in Registeel, which we've seen before, but you guys haven't seen a full health fight. Armored Mewtwo is an absolute boss versus Registeel. Dynamic Punches do super effective damage. You can laugh at the flash cannons that come at you because it's not going to do too much. So I'm actually not going to shield this first one. I may shield the second one, but we'll have to see. So hopefully we can get to another Dynamic Punch in time, which we cannot, sadly. So I'm going to go ahead and shield right here. This would, it wouldn't take me out actually, but I want them to have to throw their energy and not commit to a farm down. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Dynamic Punch right here. This is going to take out the Registeel. Excuse me. Or get a shield. So we got a shield, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and swap into Berserker now to catch the charge move. I don't want to give up a shield. I want to save it for Gengar. So that means I have to use the little bearded Viking cat in order to catch the charge move there. Now I can actually bring in Gengar. So Gengar now can come in. We don't have to worry about lock-ons because they are resisted. I'm just going to throw the Shadow Punch right away to take out this Registeel. And we'll have to see what they have in the back. Man, I'm struggling right now. Excuse me. Okay. Cresselia, or Giratina Altered comes back in, goes down right away. Get out of here. And then the Swampert's going to come back in, or come in now, and we can just throw these Shadow Balls right here, and that's going to be a good game. We still have Armored Mewtwo as well, I think with a bit of energy. So we're just going to go ahead and farm down. They're going to throw their charge move, which is fine. I can clear this game out with Armored Mewtwo. I don't necessarily have to shield, but I do decide to shield. And then I swap into Armored Mewtwo and Confusion down. And that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. We have Berserker on the lead versus Giratina Altered. Again, very positive lead for us, and this is going to be a Shadow Claw variant again as well. Dragon Breath variants are definitely way better to deal with on the lead, and we're just going to be throwing foul plays right here. If they decide to stay in, that's perfectly fine by me, but again, I don't want to sacrifice or let my Berserker go down right away, so I will swap it out into Armored Mewtwo if I get a shield and health right here to save Berserker for a shield endgame. That's what's very important. So we do land the next foul play, which is perfect. They have a lot of loaded energy though, which is fine by me, and I may try to commit to the farm down if they don't have Shadow Sneak, but they do have Shadow Sneak, which is fine. We're just going to keep loading up on energy. They're deciding to throw their next charge move, which is fine. I'm now going to swap into the Armored Mewtwo. I think I do. Nope, they decided to swap, but they swapped into Escavalier and took me out before I could throw the close combat, which is unfortunate. So What I'm guessing here is they're running a double steel team. They had Giratina altered. They have Escavalier. I'm guessing Melmetal or Registeel is in the back, which means the Gengar is going to be my win condition with shield advantage. That is very, very important. We're not going to shield the Mega Horn. It hurts. Boom. That does a lot of damage, but that's okay. We can just go for a Dynamic Punch right here. They also really can't farm me down before I get to another charge move. So this Dynamic Punch right here is going to get the final shield, which is perfect, and hopefully I can get to this Psy Strike in time. No, I cannot. They throw the energy. This is perfect. I'm reading, because of Giratina lead, I'm reading a double steal in the back, considering they have Escavalier. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the Gengar. We're going to shield this first charge move right here, and we're just going to overload on energy. That's what's important with Gengar's opportunity to sweep endgame, is to just massively overload. They tried to swap in Giratina altered, which is fine. We get more energy. And now they're going to bring in the Escavalier again, which tells me whatever's in the back is going to be very weak. We're going to go ahead and throw the Shadow Punch right here to take out the Escavalier. And the final Pokemon I'm guessing is either going to be Registeel or Melmetal. And it is going to be Melmetal, which is fine. We can throw the Shadow Ball right here. This does a lot of damage to a Melmetal. I'll boom a Melmetal as well. Here we go. Loading, and that's not boom worthy. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and safely shield this Rock Slide right here. Rock Slide actually won't KO, so I could basically not shield, but all we need to do is get to this Shadow Punch, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Again, this team does really well with energy, shield advantage, team reading as well is very important. So reading if this was double steal, I could sweep with Gengar very easily, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. And that was the final one, and we got 2340 was our final rating right there. So the journey now begins, the climb. So let me know what you guys thought about this team and these battles. Again, shout out to DanielZyniri. There's going to be a link down to his channel down in the description. Be sure to go check him out. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys thought about this team. And like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.